Now, before you click away from this video here, I just want to say that this is going to be a very important lesson to watch because you're going to be learning a little bit about measurements inside CSS. And you might be thinking, well, we did already talk about measurements, but we have actually been doing things a little bit old school up until now. We haven't really been doing it the way that most people might be doing it inside their CSS styling. So that's what we're going to talk about today. In front of me here, I have a very basic project. This is not the website we've been building up until now. This is just a very basic new website that I just set up very quickly. And as you can see, I have a basic main.css, which is the main styling for all the styling inside our website. And then we also have a index.css that has nothing inside of it. And inside my index file, I have barely anything. Of course, I do have the default things that we've learned up until now. You need to have inside your head tag, but I don't really have anything inside my body tag. I have a div tag that have a couple of different text elements inside of it, like headers, paragraph, anchor tag, and I commented out a unordered list down here that I'm going to be using for my second example inside this lesson here. Just to make things a little bit easier, let's actually go ahead and split screen here. I'm going to move my main.css and my index.css over to the right side, and then I'm going to have my HTML on the left side over here. Let's just go ahead and make sure that we have a little bit of spacing that makes sense so we can actually see things inside both screens here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how this looks like inside the browser, because I do already have some default styling inside the body tag, just to make sure that your eyes don't melt out of your skull as you're watching this inside my video here. So I made sure that the background color is set to a black color, and I also set the text to a white color, and then I centered the text in the middle of the browser just to make it a little bit more easy for you to see inside this video here. So going inside the browser, you can see that it looks something like this. Like we have a little bit of text in the screen, it's centered, everything is dark, the text is white. This is just what we have so far. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is that the text is kind of small inside the browser. And the first thing I want to teach you about when it comes to measurements is that the default sizing for all text inside the browser is 16 pixels. If you have a reset style sheet set up, this is going to be 16 pixels. And I can actually prove that by going inside your, let's say the H1 tag. And I can actually go ahead and set a font size to 16 pixels. And if we were to go back inside the browser, you'll notice that nothing changes when I refresh the browser. Like everything's the same, and that's because everything is set to 16 pixels by default. And this is very important to take note of, because when it comes to measurements and the way we're going to be doing things, the fact that everything is 16 pixels right now is going to be relevant for us when we start changing the measurements inside the browser. So with that in mind, the next thing I'm going to teach you is about the different measurements types that we have inside CSS. And we have actually not used the most popular ones when it comes to our styling so far. So right now we know that we have something called pixels that we've been using all up until now. That kind of makes sense to most people because it's kind of like a static fixed thing to use pixels. We do also have something called percentages. So you could, for example, say 200%. If I were to save that, go inside my browser, you'll notice that things are going to change a little bit. It's going to get a little bit bigger because now we're using percentages instead. And this is going to be a percentage based on the default font size. So right now, it was 16 by default. So if I were to set this one to 200, then it's going to be 32. We can also go inside and set up percentages. We can use something like view width. So the width of the browser or the view of the window that we have open inside the website. So if I were to go in here and say something like 20 view width and save that, we can also do that inside the browser, and you can see things get very big because it is scaling according to the width of the browser. And just like we can do the width, we can also do view height and do that instead, which is going to be, of course, not the horizontal width of the browser, but the vertical height of the browser. So if we were to go back inside the browser, refresh it, you can see that it scales down a little bit because the width is quite a bit longer than the height of the browser. So of course the height is going to be a little bit smaller. And these are the measurements we've talked about up until now, but there is two more that are very important to talk about, which is something called EM and REM. Now the name EM is not really something I can tell you what it stands for because it is something that it's kind of like lost over time. It is just a unit of measurements, and it's something we use today to scale depending on a previous measurement. And then we have something called REM, which stands for root EM. And that is something that I would prefer using inside my website because it is a little bit easier to make sure that everything scales appropriately inside your website. But let's talk about EM for a second, because if I were to go inside my H1 here and say I want to have it 1 EM, what is going to happen inside my website? Well, what is going to happen is that the scaling is going to be the exact same scaling as it was at the very beginning. So it is actually 16 pixels right now. And that's because EM is a measurement that goes in and says, okay, so what is the current font size inside this element that I'm styling right now? And how much should I multiply and scale this by inside this particular element? So because our default font size inside the browser is 16 pixels and I typed 1 EM, it is going to multiply 16 by 1, which is 16, which means that if we were to use 1 EM, we're just picking the default font size for this particular current object inside our website or inside this element here. I know I'm probably losing a lot of people by now, but just keep watching. It will make sense in a second. So what do I do if I want to increase this font size by twice as much? Well, we go inside our CSS styling and we say 2 EM in order to do that. And if we were to do that, it is going to get twice as big. So in this case, it is 32 pixels, right? So far that kind of makes sense. So now if I were to go back inside my CSS and my HTML here, what I can do is I can take this div tag that is outside my h1 tag. So the h1 is inside of it, right? So it's the child element. So what I can do is I can go inside my CSS styling and say my div tag should have a font size of a certain amount. So if I say font size is going to be set to 20. So by doing this, what is it going to do when I go inside the browser and refresh the browser? Because remember, EM is going to take the next top level font sizing, or at least the default font sizing for this h1 element, and multiply it by whatever number I typed inside the EM. If I go inside my browser, refresh it, you can see everything scales up. And that's because right now EM is going to be a measurement that scales what the default font size is right now inside this particular element. So because the div tag is a parent element of the h1 and I set this one to have a font size of 20, then all of a sudden the EM measurement here is going to take the 20 pixels as the default font size and use that instead. So instead of 32 pixels, which it would have been without this, then it's going to be 40 pixels inside this h1 tag. At this point, you're probably asking, why is all this relevant? Isn't it just easier to use pixels? But we'll get to that, okay? Just like I said, just stick with me and we get to a point at the end. So with all this in mind, what we can do with this in a more practical sort of sense is we can actually go inside the main.css file, which is the main styling for all the website. And I can go in here and say that, okay, so the body tag should have a certain font size. So I'm going to say the font size for everything inside my body tag is going to be 16 pixels by default, right? Then I can go inside my h1 tag and say, well, all the h1 elements inside the website is going to be 1.5 EM or something like that. Then I can go inside my h2 tag and say, well, everything should be 1.3, and then I can go inside my h3 tag and say everything should be 1.1, and inside the paragraph tag everything should be maybe 0.8 or something. So doing all of this all of a sudden allow for us to scale all the different elements based on what the default font size is inside the website. Now, the reason why this is very good to do is because if I all of a sudden think that, okay, so all the fonts inside my website here are a little bit too big, when I start scaling things down to, let's say, a mobile device, then I can just go in and instead of having to change all the different pixels inside all the different stylings inside my website, I can go inside the font size up here and just scale it a little bit up. So let's say that 16 is too little inside a mobile. I can scale it up to 18 pixels. And then all of these fonts down here are going to scale just because I changed the body font size. So you see how that's kind of like really useful when it comes to making websites, because all of a sudden everything inside your website is going to scale accordingly to what you set inside this one body tag. So if I were to do this and go inside my website just to see what we have right now, you can see that everything is scaled like this. You know, everything has different font sizes depending on what I picked inside here. But we have a problem, which is a problem that EM comes with that REM solves. So just to demonstrate this, let me go ahead and go inside my example number 2. So inside example number 2 here, I'm just going to uncomment my unordered list here. Let's say inside my styling here, I want to go down and say I have a unordered list as my default styling inside my entire website. And inside all the unordered lists inside my website, I want the default styling to be 1, which means that everything should be 18 pixels, right? Because we're scaling 1 times 18. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and take a look at what I actually have inside my HTML over here. So as you can see, I have a unordered list, and inside this unordered list here, I have a bunch of li elements. So I have a list item that says list 1, I have list 2, I have another unordered list, which means that we're going to create a sub bullet point inside this list of bullet points that is going to be 2.1, 2.2, and then we have list item 3. So basically like a bullet point list. Let me show you how this looks like. So just to illustrate how this would actually look like, this is how it's supposed to look like, right? We have a main UL that has a bunch of list items, and inside list number 2, we have a sub UL that is going to have some more list items. If I were to do something like this inside the browser, things are going to start going wrong. If I were to go inside the website and refresh it, you'll notice that so far everything isn't really looking weird or anything like that. But if I were to go inside and say I want to scale things, so not 1 EM, but I want to say 1 point, actually no, let's do 2, just to exaggerate a little bit here. If I were to write 2 inside my UL, go back inside the browser, you'll notice that my list items that are inside my list items are getting a lot bigger than the outside list items. And if you remember back to what I said, the EM measurement goes in and takes the default styling and adds a certain scaling to it. So the first UL over here has a scaling of 2, right? So it gets twice as big. So right now it's 18 pixels, which is 36 pixels is the size of this first list item in here. But because this UL is inside this other UL, it means that this UL as a default now is 36. And because we set the measurement for ULs inside my entire website to 2EM, it is going to take this 36 pixels and multiply it again. So it's getting twice as big, which means that all of a sudden we have this chain reaction going on with elements within elements that are getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger inside the website. And we don't want that to happen because that is going to mess things up on our website. Of course, you could go inside your CSS styling and say, you know what, let's say if there is a UL inside another UL, then we don't want it to scale up twice as big. We just want it to be the same as what this one is. So we can say 1 EM for the second UL. If we were to do that, it is going to be scaled the same. But this is going to be very chaotic because it means that we have to actually keep an eye out for all these elements within elements to make sure that, oh, okay, so I just added a paragraph inside another paragraph. So now I have to go inside my styling and I have to remember we have to scale things, and all of a sudden this gets really weird. So let's talk about REM instead. Let's go ahead and delete the unordered list here because that does not make any sense. That is extra work. We don't want to do that. Let's actually go ahead and refresh the browser so you can see that, oh, this is not doing what we wanted to. What I can do is instead of EM, I can use something called REM. So just REM. And I'm just going to apply it to all these different measurements down here. Now, what you're going to notice is that things are going to be scaling a little bit differently. Like things are still going to be scaled the same way according to everything else in here. So the H1 and the H2 and the, all these elements here are still going to have the same scaling according to each other, but everything is still going to get smaller inside the browser. And we'll get to talk about why that happens. So when I refresh it, you can see everything gets a little bit smaller, but you'll also notice that we kind of fixed the list item. That's cool. But why? So remember when we went up inside our body tag and we said that the default styling for everything inside the website should be 18 pixels? Well, when you use REM, you're going in and you're taking the size of the root element inside your website, which is not the body tag. The root element inside your website is actually the HTML tag in this case. Or you can also go ahead and do this. So you can say we have a pseudo class called root, because we have actually talked about this one. We started creating variables, inside our CSS. These two are essentially the same thing. So we could just pick either one. In this case here, let's actually just go ahead and pick HTML. And what I can do in here is I can actually pick a font size. So right now we have a font size set to 18 pixels. Let's actually just go and delete that one because now that we're using REM, this is not going to matter anymore. So what I can do is I can go inside my HTML and say font size is going to be 18 pixels. Which means that now everything is going to scale accordingly and get a little bit bigger because now we're actually scaling according to the root element inside our styling, which is 18 pixels. So this fixes everything when it comes to the scaling issues you might be having using EM inside your website. So with this, we run into another, I wouldn't really call it an issue, but another, well, it is kind of an issue. Essentially, when it comes to being a web developer, like we are, we have specific pixels we want to use for font sizing inside our website. So let's say I want things to be 14 pixels and I want other things to be 16 pixels. How do I know how many pixels this is? And this one, like what is 1.3 compared to 18? We run into this small issue here where we have to start like calculating things and have a calculator next to us. We can actually avoid that completely, because when it comes to the default font size, which is 16 pixels, remember all the way back at the beginning of this video here, we talked about that. I can actually go in here and say that if I were to delete this, the default font size is now 16 pixels, which means that this is going to get multiplied by 16. And the same with this one down here, this is going to get multiplied by 16 and 16 and 16, you know, and so forth. But what I can do is I can actually scale my 16 pixels down to 10 pixels as a default font size inside the browser, which is a lot easier when it comes to measurements inside REM. And I'll demonstrate this. So let's say I want to have 16 pixels scaled down to 10 pixels. How do we do that? Well, what we do is we use a percentage amount, because how many percentage do we need to scale things down from 16 pixels in order to reach 10 pixels? The number is 62.5%. So 62.5% of 16 pixels is 10 pixels. So right now with this percentage here, if I were to go in and say that everything should be 1 REM, let's just go and do that. Let's make everything 1. That would mean that right now, everything inside the website is going to be 10 pixels. So if we were to go back inside the website, refresh it, you can see everything gets really small, but now everything is scaled down to 10 pixels. Let's go ahead and go back inside our main.css and say, okay, so what do I want my h1 tag to be when it comes to my size? Let's say I want it to be 26 pixels. How do we figure out how many REM that is? Well, essentially just say 2.6. That is going to be 26 pixels. If I want my h2 to be maybe 24 pixels, 2.4. If I want my h3 to be 20 pixels, I say 2. If I want my paragraph down here to be 14 pixels, I can say 1.4. And if I want my anchor tag to also be 14 pixels, I do 1.4. And in this sort of sense, we can go in and scale things and actually know how many pixels each of these are inside the website. So if we were to go back inside the website, refresh it, you can now see that everything is scaled, and these are the pixel amount that I just mentioned. And again, this is just to kind of give you a rough example about how you can go in and scale up all the paragraphs inside the website or all the h1 tags inside the website. But right now, we don't really see the full benefit of this until we actually start talking about responsive web design, which is using media queries inside our CSS. And that is going to be something we're going to be touching upon within the next couple of lessons, since responsive web design is very important when it comes to making a website, because most people nowadays are using their cell phones for going on the internet. Responsive web design is something we're going to talk about, and we get to talk a bit more about how these different measurements become very, very good to use inside responsive web design. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.